Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news. When we talk about the Detroit Lions and their quest to finally truly contend for a Super Bowl, there's always a lot of buzz, a lot of hope, and of course, some questions. One of the biggest questions entering this offseason has revolved around the most important position on the field: quarterback. Jared Goff has been the guy leading the Lions for a couple of seasons now, and if you've been following the team closely, you know that he's done an admirable job, especially considering the rebuild and the challenges he faced when he first arrived. But as always, the NFL is a league that demands depth, competition, and readiness, especially at quarterback. And this offseason, the Lions have taken some strategic steps to ensure they are prepared for every scenario, including a very interesting quarterback competition brewing behind Goff. Now, here's the scoop that's been making waves among Lions fans and NFL insiders alike. The team has brought in veteran quarterback Kyle Allen, a guy with 7 years of NFL experience, to challenge Hendon Hooker for that backup spot. But what's really caught people's attention is the possibility that both Allen and Hooker might end up making the roster. That's right, there's a real chance the Lions could keep both quarterbacks, providing depth, competition, and insurance in case of injury, or if one of them starts to emerge as a clear alternative to Goff. And that's a big deal, especially considering the Lions' recent drafting history and their approach to building a competitive roster that can sustain success over multiple seasons. The Lions' decision to sign Kyle Allen wasn't just about adding a veteran body to the room. It's about experience, decision-making, and leadership. Allen's NFL journey has been quite interesting. He's played in 31 games, starting 12, and has been on a variety of teams, including the Carolina Panthers, where he got some solid playing time, and the Buffalo Bills, serving as a backup to Josh Allen. His stats include completing 62.7% of his passes for nearly 753 yards, with 26 touchdowns and 21 interceptions. Those numbers might not jump off the page, but his experience and football IQ are what set him apart. And let's not forget, he's only 2 years older than Hendon Hooker, the Lions' third-round pick from 2023, who is still in the early stages of his NFL career, coming off a torn ACL suffered in college. This brings us to an interesting point about the Lions' quarterback room. The team invested high draft capital in Hendon Hooker, a talented player with a lot of upside, but also one who is still recovering from injury and facing the usual hurdles that come with transitioning from college to the NFL. The Lions' coaching staff, led by head coach Dan Campbell and quarterback coach Mark Brunell, have been cautious and measured in how they're handling Hooker's development. They see his potential, but they're also aware that he's still a rookie, still learning how to handle the speed and complexity of NFL defenses. Because of this, some insiders believe the Lions might be keeping their options open. The suggestion is that Kyle Allen could end up being the third quarterback on the roster, providing valuable experience and leadership in the room. His familiarity with different offensive systems and his ability to make quick decisions could make him a valuable resource for Jared Goff during practice, helping to prepare him for opponents and situations he might face during the season. Plus, with Allen's NFL experience, he's someone who can step in if needed, giving the Lions peace of mind. But the story gets even more intriguing when we consider what this means for Hendon Hooker. The Lions made a significant investment in him, and they clearly see him as a future piece of the puzzle. However, with Jared Goff signed to a new extension and the team committed to contending now, there's speculation that Hooker's role might be more limited than initially expected. Bleacher Report's Matt Holder even suggested last season that Hooker could be a trade candidate down the line, especially if the Lions decide to maximize their return while his value is still relatively high. The idea is that, if Hooker doesn't quickly establish himself as the backup or a potential starter, the Lions could explore trade options to recoup some draft capital or even add other pieces to the roster. It's important to remember, though, that Hendon Hooker's journey is still very much in progress. Coming off a torn ACL, he's been working tirelessly to rehab and get back to full strength. His talent is undeniable. He's got a strong arm, excellent mobility, and natural leadership qualities. But the NFL is a league that demands patience, and especially for a player coming off such a serious injury, the timeline can be unpredictable. Still, the Lions' front office and coaching staff are known for their patience and their focus on long-term success. They're not rushing Hooker, but they're also not ruling out the possibility of him being a trade chip if the right opportunity comes along. Now, what does all of this mean for the Lions' overall quarterback strategy? Well, it's clear they want to have options. Having Kyle Allen as a veteran presence and a safety net gives them flexibility. It also means they're not just relying on Hendon Hooker to develop into the backup. They're ensuring they have experienced players who can step in if needed. This approach aligns with the Lions' broader philosophy of building a team that's versatile, resilient, and capable of competing at the highest level. They're aware that the NFL playoffs are a brutal battle of attrition, and having quality depth at every position, especially quarterback, is crucial for sustained success. Looking ahead, the upcoming training camp and preseason will be critical in determining how this quarterback battle unfolds. Allen's NFL experience, combined with his familiarity with different offensive schemes, could give him an edge in camp, but don't sleep on Hendon Hooker. His potential is enormous, and if he can demonstrate steady progress and grasp the Lions' system quickly, he may still carve out a significant role. The coaching staff will be watching closely, looking for the player who can best operate under pressure, make smart decisions, and help lead the team when called upon. But let's step back and look at the bigger picture. The Lions are entering a pivotal season. After a surprisingly competitive 2022 campaign that saw them finish with a 9-8 record and narrowly miss the playoffs, expectations are higher than ever. The team has made smart moves in free agency, brought in key players on both sides of the ball, and now, with the quarterback situation somewhat clarified but still fluid, they're positioning themselves for a deep playoff run. The NFC North is also evolving. The Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers, and Chicago Bears are all in different stages of their rebuilds, and the Lions see this as an opportunity to establish dominance. This season could be the one where Detroit finally asserts itself as a true contender, and the quarterback room is a big part of that equation. Jared Goff has proven he can lead a team, and with a solid supporting cast, including standout receivers like Amon-Ra St. Brown and a revamped defense, the Lions are poised to make a serious push. The key will be how well their quarterbacks perform when it counts, and how deep the team's roster can go. And let's not forget the historical context. The Lions have always been a franchise with a passionate fan base, waiting patiently for that breakthrough. From Barry Sanders' legendary career to the recent resurgence under Dan Campbell, the city of Detroit is hungry for success. They want to see their team compete at the highest level, make deep playoff runs, and finally bring home a Super Bowl trophy. The current quarterback situation is just one piece of that puzzle, but it's a very important one. It can define the team's future for years to come. So, as we watch this summer's training camp unfold, keep an eye on Kyle Allen and Hendon Hooker. Their performances will be telling, not just for this season, but for the Lions' long-term trajectory. Will Allen's experience help bridge the gap until Hooker is fully ready? Or will Hooker seize the moment and earn the trust of the coaching staff early on? The answer could shape the Lions' quarterback room for years to come. In conclusion, this isn't just about a quarterback competition. It's about the Lions positioning themselves for sustained success, building a roster that can contend deep into the playoffs, and finally fulfilling the promise of their talented roster. The NFC North is no longer a division to overlook, and Detroit is determined to lead the charge. The next few months will be critical, and Lions fans should be excited about the possibilities ahead. The team is setting up a battle, yes, but it's also setting up a future that looks brighter than ever. And that, my friends, is what makes this offseason so fascinating for every single Lions supporter out there. Pause here, just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Detroit Lions news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the quarterback battle is just one part of the bigger picture, the bigger vision that Dan Campbell and his staff are crafting for Detroit. The team's recent draft picks, free agency moves, and strategic roster building all point to a Lions squad that's hungry, disciplined, and ready to take that next step. The attention to detail in every phase, from offense to defense, special teams to coaching, shows a franchise that's heavily invested in success. The fans, too, are riding this wave of optimism. Every game last season showed that Detroit is a city that loves football, that lives and breathes this sport with a passion that's unmatched in many other NFL markets. The roar of the Ford Field crowd, the energy in the city, the hope for a deep playoff run, these aren't just words. They're a part of the Lions' identity now. And the quarterback battle, the future of Goff, Hooker, and Allen, is just the latest chapter in this ongoing story of resilience and ambition. Remember, the NFL is a league where every detail counts, and every player's performance can swing the momentum. The Lions understand that better than anyone. They know that having the right backup quarterback isn't just about filling a roster spot. It's about having someone who can step in and keep the team afloat, who can motivate and lead, and maybe even challenge Goff eventually. That's why this offseason is so critical, and why Lions fans should be paying close attention to every move, every snap, every decision in camp. And for those who have been supporting the Lions through thick and thin, this season promises to be one of the most exciting yet. The team has built a foundation rooted in grit, determination, and a clear focus on winning. The quarterback room with Allen and Hooker embodies that spirit, two young players hungry to prove themselves, backed by a veteran who can help them grow. It's a story of patience, persistence, and relentless pursuit of excellence. So, what does this all mean for the upcoming season? Well, it's simple. The Lions are not just aiming to be good, they want to be great. They want to finally return to the playoffs with consistency, and perhaps this quarterback competition will be the spark that ignites a deeper run. Jared Goff has been a steadying force, but the Lions are making sure they're prepared for any scenario, whether it's Goff leading the way, Hooker developing into a star, or Allen stepping in when needed. The depth and versatility they're building could be the difference maker in close games, late-season pushes, and playoff battles. In the end, this offseason is about setting the stage for a new era in Detroit football, one where talent, resilience, and smart decision-making come together to forge a team capable of competing at the highest level. And as Lions fans, you should be excited because the future is bright. The team is putting in the work, making strategic moves, and preparing for a season that could redefine their place in the NFL landscape. The NFC North is no longer just a tough division, it's a battleground, and Detroit is ready to lead the charge. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this quarterback situation? Do you believe Hendon Hooker will seize the moment and earn the backup role, or do you think Kyle Allen's experience will give him the edge in camp? Or maybe you're hoping the Lions make a splash with a trade or another signing. Whatever your thoughts are, drop them in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Detroit Lions. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Detroit Lions news. This season promises to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and with your support, we'll be right here, covering every moment of it. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Lions!